What do you say if a guy was working a 9 to 5, married to a woman, had a couple of kids, going his 2 or 3 holidays a year, and he said to you he was happy?
I'll say congratulations. I would genuinely say congratulations. If you're happy with that, and I know that's like a pretty normal setup. If you're happy with that, absolutely congratulations, and I don't look down on you. That's perfectly fine. But some men are just not born that way. Some men are born with something else inside of them, with a fire inside of them, which cannot be extinguished by beans on toast, TV at night, 9 to 5, sitting around with your wife. Some men are not satisfied with that. I know me as an individual, I could not be satisfied with that. That doesn't mean I look down on the people who are. Absolutely, congratulations. But my time on the planet, I guarantee, will be more eventful. I will die with more stories. I would have made a bigger ripple in space-time because I refuse to comply with just the average, this is okay, you'll be happy with this, take it. I think a man should have absolutely no interest in whether he's actually happy or not. If I wake up and I'm unhappy, I will do the exact same things as if I am happy. I will go to the gym the same. I will work the same. How I feel has no impact on how I live my life. I don't think happiness as an index is a healthy view for a man to have on life success. For a man, if you're waking up and going, oh, am I happy, am I not? You're looking at life wrong. I think of a man, if you put happiness if you move it down the scale, right? And you start looking at, am I successful? Am I competent? You know, am I achieving things? Am I respected? If you start to look at these indicators of your life, you're going to end up being happier without actually analyzing if you're happy or not. So for me, I understood very, very well that $500,000 a month is good, but $1 million a month is better. And I also very, very much understood that as soon as you stop pushing forward, as soon as you go stagnant, you're dying. Right? As soon as you stay in one place, you're slowly on the way down. Bro, if there was a golden tap that unlimited money and you had buckets and you took one bucket of money, would you just take that bucket or would you run back and get another bucket and run back and run? I couldn't stop. I couldn't sleep. I remember walking to sixth form college. I was 16 or 17 with my 4 friends and a Ferrari burnt past us. I said to my boys, I was like, man, how'd that guy get that car? And they're like, don't know. I was like, doesn't that annoy you? I'm like, why would it annoy me? Because we're going to school, our parents are on council estates. Like we're trying to scrape 20 pounds a week to eat. This dude has 400 grand for a car. Doesn't that aggravate you? Doesn't that show you that there's something about the world you do not understand? That you're missing something? And they're all like, not really. And they're all the dudes who are right now at home, 9 to 5. I was never that guy. I was pissed off for weeks because I saw some dude in his Ferrari.
Correct. Most of you got it absolutely not right. The first time you begin your indoctrination for the Matrix is inside the educational system. Someone very smart to me told me, Andrew, they're going to kill you. And I said, I know. And he said, because you can't be bigger than certain systems. You can't be bigger than a judicial system. No one's allowed. You're not allowed to be bigger than an educational system. If you start teaching people that there's a better way than the educational system, they will get rid of you because it is a racket and it makes a whole bunch of money and they don't want you telling the truth about it. You have to shut up. And I said, interesting. Then I decided I'm unafraid, unfazed, kill me. I'd never kill myself, come kill me. So I'm gonna sit here and tell what I believe to be true because it makes me feel good inside of my heart and I trust in God. And if I die, I die. So they lie to you in school. School is not designed to help you escape the Matrix. If that was the case, the Matrix would break down. School is designed to prepare your mind for slavery within the Matrix. Most of you intrinsically understand this. Very simple thought experiment. It's 3 a.m, you're in a gas station, you're in your car, you're in your Toyota, because you're all brokey. You're sitting there filling up with gas. You see a Lamborghini pull up, and a guy gets out, 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. And you look at him in his Lambo, and you look at all of his money. Do you think, wow, he must have got a really good degree? Or do you think, drug dealer, criminal, gangster? You intrinsically look to crime, not because you think he's a criminal, but because you understand that if you stay within the rules of the Matrix, if you stay within the parameters of society, you cannot achieve extraordinary things. You know intrinsically he's broken some rule to get where he is. So you assume crime. Now, he's probably not a criminal. In fact, in my experience, and trust me, I grew up in a very rough area, a lot of criminals do not have a fraction of the money you think they do. But you intrinsically understand following the path of school, college, university, degree, job, debt, mortgage is never going to get you that car. So you know he had to do something else. So you already know intrinsically in your heart it's bullshit. And as the internet has taken hold of Earth, it's actually a miracle to me that anybody goes to university at all. If it was in 1975 and I wanted to learn about, fuck knows, bro, dolphins, I'd have to go to university and learn about dolphins. Hey, hi, what's your name? My name's Andrew, and I have a really keen interest in dolphins. All right, weirdo, sit down over here. So here's how a dolphin dick works. People are weird, bro. So anyway, you had to go to school to learn about dolphins. Cool. But now if you want to look at dolphins, just Google it. Like, what do you need to go to uni for? Information's at your fingertips. I know you're too busy jerking off on Pornhub to realize you can find out anything you fucking want in seconds almost, right? So the whole idea, a lot of these degrees and things you used to learn are insane. I'm gonna make a really side point here. I'm actually kind of glad that there's so many nerds in the world because some of the stuff that they do is actually important. So I'm gonna make a caveat here. Like, I can't explain to you how much money you would have to pay me for me to go count fish. Hey, Andrew, do you want to be a marine biologist? Oh, that sounds cool. What do we do? Well, we go out on a boat and then we go out to the ocean. And then what we do is we count how many fish there are and we compare it to the last time we counted fish. And then we see if there's more fish or less fish. Okay. And how much do I get paid to count fish? Oh, no, you don't get paid very much. You have to go to university for 5 years and get in debt. And then if you're lucky, you get a job as a marine biologist. And then you get to pay off debt for the rest of your life and stay a brokey and count the fish. No, I don't want to do that. But I'm glad someone is out of their mind and finds that attractive and appealing. Because if no one counted the fish, I guess all the fish would die. And maybe I'm sentimental, but I like the idea of the ocean having some fish in it. I wouldn't want a fishless ocean. Where's all the fish? No one counted them. Now it's 0. So someone has to count the fish. I'm smart enough to understand someone has to count the fish. I just don't understand why you would want to do that. Why don't you just want to get rich as fuck instead? Andrew, what do you want to do? I want to get really rich and really strong and grow loads of muscle and buy loads of fast cars and a jet. What do you want to do? I want to be a marine biologist. I want to study the reproduction habits of sea urchins. I can Google right now, how do sea urchins get pussy? And there's an answer. Somebody knows. Somebody knows. The sea urchins waking up, looking for girls. Someone studied this. Who studied this? I'm glad someone did. And I'm glad it's not me. So it's actually a fucking miracle that anyone does any of this shit for the meager compensation they receive monetarily. It's truly remarkable. So I'm glad. But if you're like me and when someone comes to you and goes, "You want to count fish?" You're like, "Fuck no. Don't count fucking fish." No, bruv. No. It's the same with all this shit. We need geologists. Hey, Andrew. What? Do you want to go look at the dirt? No. Yeah, but don't you understand the dirt was different? And 25 years ago, the dirt was different. And 1,000 years ago, the dirt was different. And if we dig a big hole, we can compare the dirt. What? How much do I get paid for this? Oh, no, you don't get paid. You go to university and you give them lots of money and you get in debt. And if you're lucky, you get an internship. And then you get to go on a hike. You get to walk for 4 days with a yellow hard hat on to the middle of nowhere and dig a hole and look at the dirt. Bruv. Billions. I'm like, bro, how much money you got? Wait, this is going to take how much of my life? I want $10 billion. Top G, the G stands for geologist. Must be out your fucking mind, bruv. No interest at all. But that's what university's for. It's for people who are just a different mindset to me. And I'm not insulting them. I'm glad they exist. But it ain't me. And it was previously for people who needed to know shit. You know what the worst degrees are? We always make fun of liberal arts degrees and all these stupid, pointless degrees, which a bunch of people do. But they're not actually all that useless. Because let's say you do a liberal arts degree from the right university. If you go to the right company, some leftist insanity company, you'll get a job. even though you have a bullshit degree. If you've gone to the right uni and you go to the right stupid company, you can still get a job. I've always been amazed by language degrees. Imagine you're American. No, even worse. Imagine you're Canadian. Lame. You wake up, you're Western, right? You wake up. You go to college, blah, blah, blah. You go to uni, you get accepted. Lucky you. I've never understood that either, the acceptance thing. They accepted me. What'd they accept you for? For my classes. They accepted to take your money? Is that what they accepted you for? I got accepted at McDonald's when I gave them $7 for a Happy Meal. They accepted my money too. What's the point? No, you don't understand. I tried really hard and I did all the tests and now they'll let me give them money. Bruv, are you dumb? Like, I don't understand how anyone falls for this shit. What's out of your fucking mind? If I got accepted, pay me. Andrew, we've accepted you into Cambridge. Safe. How much do I get paid? Oh, you want me to pay you? Well, I don't accept. Dumb. So people get accepted. And what are you studying? German. I'm majoring in German. Bro, why would you be a 24-year-old full-grown adult in America majoring in German when every 13-year-old in Germany speaks perfect English and perfect German that they learned from cartoons and TikTok? You think if an international company wants someone who speaks German and English, they can't go to Germany and just get someone. They all speak English. I've been to Germany. I've been through all the Nordics, through all of Europe. I've been to 92 countries. I don't think I've ever met anyone. I've lived in Romania 8 years. I don't speak Romanian. I speak perfect English to everyone, and they speak perfect English back. Why the fuck are you you're majoring in German? Someone make this make sense to me. I'm on a tangent here. This wasn't what the show was about, but it doesn't make any sense. I've got my degree in German. How do you say yay in German? Ja. Now what? Now what are you gonna do? Great, go to Germany and speak English? Dummy. Dumb, bruv. And a lot of people know this shit's stupid, but then they sit there and go, yeah, well, if I don't go uni, what else am I supposed to do? I don't know. Maybe make a bunch of money. Maybe become a kickboxing world champion. Maybe train hard and become strong. Maybe learn things that actually matter. I don't know. Maybe time is the most valuable thing any of us have. Maybe money isn't even as valuable as our time, and the money you're gonna spend on this bullshit and put yourself in debt isn't even as detrimental as the years you're gonna waste. Maybe. I don't know, maybe. Never crossed your mind that wasting 5 years of your prime years as a human, your most energetic years as an individual, you're gonna waste studying German. For what? To learn what? How do you say banana in German? Who knows? Who cares? I don't care. But to prove my point, I'm going to tell you. I haven't been to uni. Haven't majored in German. Google Translate. Boom, let me show you. In the olden days, you'd have to go to uni for this. Now we have the internet. Banana. Banana in Swedish is banan. It was already set to Swedish. Don't know why. We'll choose German. Banan! That's how you say. You went to uni for that? Instead of B-A-N-A-N-A, it's B-A-N-A-N-E. They've changed one letter. You went to uni and spent how much money? Hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn banan. Bruv. Joke ting. And you wonder why you're fucking broke. You must be stupid. You may as well go count fish. How do you say fish in German? If it's the same, I swear to God. Fish is fish. What? I know German already. Fish. Instead of F-I-S-H, it's F-I-S-C-H. It's fish. This is the biggest scam. Everyone's been scammed since the beginning. I've worked it all out. It's a fucking lie and a scam. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jesus. Is anything in this world real anymore? Everything on the news is a fucking lie. German's a lie. Canada's a lie. It's all a lie.
I think a lot of those things come from love. Let's analyze this. I think a lot of those things come from love. I think it's very difficult to do nearly anything important if it's not perhaps to a degree driven by love, or the desire for love even. I think the reason a lot of men want to become rich is because they want to feel loved or feel important or to matter. I also feel like the reason that a lot of men do the things they do is for love, either of themselves or of someone else. I think the reason men go to work is because they love their family. The reason you go to the gym is because you love yourself. I think that love is a very powerful driving force. I certainly feel love. My world is full of love. Like, I would argue I'm one of the most loved people on the planet. Like, if I check my phone, it's just love.
Yeah.
It's endless emails of people I don't know who love me, endless females who do know me love me, endless pictures of children saying they miss me. Like, I'm a very loved person in a very loved world. I love a lot of people.
You love.
I absolutely love, but because I believe in myself so strongly, I feel like the way I love them is to have a degree of authority over them. Not in a crazy psychopathic way, but in a I love you, so you should do this.
Right.
I love you, so act this way. I love you, so don't do that. Almost in the same way a parent loves a child. You love your child, so you don't let them eat candy all day, because you love them.
Yeah.
I'm like that with everyone in my life, because I see myself as the most competent person on the planet. So I'm like, I love you, I care about you. You shouldn't do this way.
Right.
Because you may think you know better, but you don't. You don't know better than me. I know best, and this is how it should be. Absolutely, that's a very astute question, and you're asking because you already know the answer.
And you already know the answer.
Of course, only love can win.
Yeah.
Only love can win.
Yeah.
And it's the most powerful driving force on the face of the planet. It always has been. And it's only when people are going to wake up and have a true love for themselves and love for their community and love for their children and love for these things that we're going to start to resist the evil and the Satanism and the insanity which is coming in the world today. But I believe, as a man at least, your love only has value when you're capable, which is why perhaps I'm so obsessed with capability, because I want my love to have value. We talked about how time has value when you're at a certain echelon. I would also argue that love has value when at a certain echelon. If I'm in love with a girl, she can get a lot more from that love than if a Joe Schmo's in love with her, right? So my love has value because I have value. So I have to build myself, and especially as a man, if you want to feel loved and you want to give love, the more capable you become, the more valuable your love's going to be, and that's certainly how we're going to fix the world. So yeah, the answer is love, of course, but it can't just be blind, empty love. It has to be love that is backed by a brutal, harsh capability, which is born in the worst scenarios you're going to endure as a man. And the world at its baseline is a very brutal place. It can be. And I think that becoming comfortable with those scenarios and becoming capable in those scenarios is how you give your love deep, true value. But I think that, yeah, love is the answer. Right, love is the answer. But I don't want to end. I don't want.
That's hard for you to say.
No,
it's like the Fonz.
No, yeah, love. But we have to make this clear, because most people misunderstand what love is.
I understand.
No, because you say love is
but
the
not
answer.
coming from you.
They've hijacked the word love now, and they've confused the word love with tolerance and a complete lack of boundaries. And they're saying, if you're a loving person, you accept all this garbage. No, I disagree with that. You just said a very important thing. You said father's love. A father's love comes with tests and trials and tribulations. What does a dad even traditionally do for his son? Take him out there, push him in the pool, let him struggle a bit, get him out. Put him on the bike, let him fall over, help him get up. You have to go through the bad things to be rewarded and the bad things to learn. That's how a father typically loves. And a father also loves by saying no. No, you cannot do that. So you nailed it by how society needs a father's love. Completely true. And society has actually hijacked the word love and tried to convince you that you don't need the father's love. Perhaps you need this unconditional love, which is more like a mother's love, if you want to gender it, perhaps. So it's unconditional. You can act without honor, you can act without courage, you can act without discipline, and you'll be loved anyway just because you exist. I don't believe that for myself. I believe if I remove all my morality, I will not just be loved by default, not by my family, not by God, not by society. I don't believe that. And the people who do believe that, who think I should be loved just for existing, regardless of how I act and what I think, those are some of the most evil people on the planet. I truly believe. And they're also some of the most unsuccessful and unspectacular. And they're the people who are out here genuinely trying to change society in a direction which has never been tested, which I believe is going to lead down to the depths of hell, truly. I think it's evil. So yeah, I agree with you. Father's love is important, but love in and of itself has boundaries. Love is strict. Love is hard. Love is a hard emotion.
Love is fierce. Love is not an emotion of, oh, do whatever you want. It's the opposite. Love is, no, you have to do this. I believe love is a very hard, very strong emotion. And if I think of how, let's say I have two women, one I love, one I don't love, and I enjoy both of their company, I'm harder on the one I love. I expect more from her in terms of how she acts. I expect more from her in terms of how she speaks to me. I expect more from her in how she presents herself to the world. The more I love her, the more I expect of her, the more parameters I want to put on her in regards to how she should behave, because I love her. Love is a hard emotion. So yeah, love wins, but not in the way that people think love. They've hijacked the word love and convinced people that love means, oh, I tolerate everything. Right. That's not love. Interesting. And what I will do, and I will take away from this conversation, is I definitely have moments of presence. I mean, I'm human. I do have like a couple minutes where I sit and just look around and go, life's not all that bad, of course. But I will perhaps try and dedicate a little bit more time. Maybe I can I'll see if I can allocate 3 minutes instead of 2 towards presence and see how that makes me feel overall. It's interesting that you said when you're present, you feel love. I actually completely agree with that. I can't think of a time I've been present and felt anything other than gratefulness. Just to look around and go, you know what? Yeah. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
In fact, even in jail that happened. Even in jail, I had moments of presence, and I looked around and go, this is not nearly as bad as like the media is saying it is, and the women on the phone are crying, and everyone's panicking. You know what? I'm not in a trench. I'm probably not going to get blown up. If a fire started, could I get through that steel door? If anyone could, it's me. I'm not on a submarine in World War II. There's no depth charges.
Yeah.
I'm not in a car crash.
Yeah.
It's fine. Cup of tea. It's fine. I did have those moments, right? So when you come to a moment, when you come to a moment of presence, even in a terrible scenario, it often ends up love. Yeah. You're right. And I certainly have felt them, and I certainly could do it. My rationale would be, my argument would be, does that make me more powerful? You're arguing it does, and maybe perhaps I need to try it. Whereas I would typically, up until this conversation, I would say, I don't have time for that. I have things to do.
Right.
So that's where it all comes down to. And then it comes down to, like I said earlier, am I here as a human to enjoy my experience as a human and enjoy being in this vessel and have as much fun as possible and be as present as possible? Or am I here to make the biggest impact I can possibly make and build a legacy? And of course, probably like most things in life, the answer is somewhere in between the two. It's probably some balance. Yeah. Perhaps I'm slightly out of balance, and that's why I am living the life I am. But I'm not unhappy with it. And if I was unhappy with it, it wouldn't change anything.
Absolutely and utterly not. The purpose of life is to be competent and successful. If you try and base your life and your mentality purely around how happy you are, you'll end up hedonistic and destroyed.
I think that as a man, your happiness comes from feeling respected over feeling loved. And the reason perhaps you're happy now is because you have more respect for yourself because of the decisions you're making. And you have self-respect. Yeah. And I think that a lot of men, even if they have self-respect, if nobody else respects them, they're struggling.
I have no interest in being happy. I wake up and say, how can I be proud of myself? What can I achieve that makes me proud of myself? How can I do things that make other people respect me and are proud of me? How do I have a day which I complete when I come home? The woman who's in my house says, wow, there's no man like you. How do I live a life so my children look at me and go, Dad's a superhero? How do I make my mother call me and say, I couldn't possibly be more proud of you? I have duties to complete. I have to live the exact same life regardless of how I feel. So for me, happiness is not a good indicator on how life should be lived. Happiness to me is a super interesting concept, because when people come to me and say, I'm not happy, I say, why should you be happy? They're like, what do you mean? It's like, who told you should be happy all the time without working for it? Happiness is at the top of a mountain somewhere. You ain't been anywhere. You haven't even climbed it. Nobody cares about men being happy. We talk about women being happy. We want children to be happy. If you look at a full-grown man on Christmas morning, he's smiling because his wife is smiling. He's smiling because his children are smiling. Nobody even buys him anything. What do they buy the dad? Socks? Nobody cares about men being happy. So why do you as a man care about you being happy? That's how you're going to fall into these traps. I'm a very content person. I live a fantastic life. I'm not miserable or depressed. I'm not sad ever, but I don't wake up and go, I want to be happy today. No, sir. I wake up and say, okay, things must be done. And those things will be completed regardless of how I feel. Regardless of how I feel. You can lock me in a dungeon for an unknown amount of time in Romania, and I will still complete as many push-ups as I can possibly do in the dark by myself. What else am I going to do? Sit there and be sad? Happy or sad? The push-ups must be done. It's called duty. It's called honor. It's called pride. So I'm asking you why you don't have them. You could be a genuine force for good in the world. And you know what's funny? The funniest thing, the most ironic thing about all of this is that if you don't prioritize happiness and you prioritize feeling proud of yourself, you end up happy by extension. I'm happy because I'm proud of myself because I have a fantastic life and mansions and supercars and money, most famous man in the world, thousands of love letters a week from beautiful women. Of course I'm happy, but I didn't ever choose to try and be happy. If I would have chosen to try and be happy, I would have never ended up happy.
I don't want a woman to ever go through anything bad in her life. I think a man should go through it for her and protect her, because I think that's how she's her best self as a woman. But I think to be your best self as a man is the absolute opposite. And when someone emails me and says, "This has happened to me," I'm like, good. No, what do you mean good? It's terrible. How else are you going to become important? How else are you going to find endless fire to get up and struggle in the face of the competition that's out here in the world? How else are you're going to do all that with a nice, cushy life? If any man's honest with himself, think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. You were heartbroken, or, you lost a house, or broke, or whatever. That's when you did shit. When everything was fine, the mortgage is paid, dinner's on time, it's kind of doop-de-doop-de-doo, little by little, do a little bit of work, do a little bit of relax. But the big events come from trauma. This is it. So it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code to climb the mountain. So when I get a message from whoever and he goes, "My wife left me, I'm devastated," I say, I understand. I completely understand how hard it can be to lose a woman that you've given your entire life to. And you've done so many nice things. And then because of one thing you did, her innate and absolutely insane level of ungratefulness has turned her bitter, and she now talks to you like she hates you over one thing you've done after thousands of efforts showing how dedicated you are to her. And even now that you're prepared to die for her, she doesn't give a shit about you. I understand that pain. But my answer is, good, it's still good. Now take all of that pain, and instead of emailing me, do this. And then you're going to become the kind of person that women don't leave. Then you win. I think everybody on the planet has something to prove. If you walk through life and feel like you have nothing to prove, then you're a loser. If you wake up each day and go, "I don't owe anybody anything, I don't have to prove anything to anybody," then you are a loser, because you are absolutely not incorrect. You must prove yourself to other people. You must prove yourself to your bloodline, as we just discussed. You must prove yourself to God. God hates the lazy. He can't stand them. If he gives you all these genetic dispositions and these natural God-given gifts, if you have 2 arms and 2 legs and you can think, and you're not trying your absolute best, that's the reason you're not lucky. He doesn't like you. He likes the people which show him the beauty of his own creation. He likes to give somebody building blocks and them to build something amazing. It's the best thing about being a man. You get to build who you are, right? You can decide if you want to be a funny comedian or a musician or a kickboxing world champion or fight the Matrix. You can decide whatever you want to be. God loves to see that. Those people, for some reason, seem to be enormously lucky, right? The person who goes, "I don't have to prove anything to God. I don't owe all of my ancestors any effort." For 5,000 years, people were dodging saber-toothed tigers and catching the plague and running from Genghis Khan. I don't owe them anything. I don't owe them a thing, because I want to play video games. These people are losers. I wake up every day with something to prove. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm in fantastic shape, 4 times world champion, fighting the Matrix out here by myself. More. I will have to be braver. I must try harder. All I do is prove myself. So when I hear people go, "I don't have nothing to prove," then you're a loser. Peasants have never felt like they needed to prove anything, but kings felt like they needed to go and conquer land. Isn't that it's coincidental that the king, who already had it all, felt like he needed to go to some far-flung land and conquer it and take it and prove he's the king? But the peasants, "Oh, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody." You're a loser then. You're a dummy. I absolutely and utterly, completely have everything to prove to everybody all of the time. That's who I am. I will prove anything to anybody. If I sit and say X, I will prove it.
Happiness is the number one thing that must be earned. And I'll tell you that my happiness is based on very real world achievements. I couldn't be happy if I was broke. I couldn't be happy if I was obese. I couldn't be happy if I was lonely. I couldn't be happy if I wasn't respected. I couldn't be happy if I couldn't whoop a dude's ass. I couldn't be happy in those scenarios, so I made sure none of them scenarios came true. I have earned my happiness via hard work. It's the top of a mountain which I have climbed. I deserve it. I deserve to go to sleep with a smile on my face. Yes, that's what I deserve. And every single guy who hasn't got it probably doesn't deserve it. The universe is very giving and very fair. People seem to think that the world is unfair, and those are all the same people who tell themselves they're unlucky. I actually believe the opposite. I believe the universe is a very giving place. I believe God is a very giving being, and that The world, all in all, generally balances out and is pretty fair. If you're the kind of person who deserves a good life and works their ass off and genuinely wants it and tries very hard, guess what you get 99% of the time? A good life. And if you're the kind of person who doesn't really deserve it, slacks 3 days a week, a little bit lazy, snakes his friends, talks behind people's back, blah, 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 guess what? Your life ain't all that good. The universe is pretty fair and pretty balanced. I've yet to meet somebody who gets up every day, does what they're supposed to do, works hard, goes to the gym, then goes to work, does their best, makes their money, looks after it, is sensible, doesn't blow it, etc., who then fails. I've never met anybody who fails when they do all the right things. The universe is a very fair and giving place, all in all. There are very few exceptions to that. So when I see somebody who doesn't have the success they want, especially when I see, let's say, a group of people who don't have the success they want, there's no way you're all exceptions to that rule. You may want something, but you certainly don't deserve it. And that's why you don't have it. You shouldn't wake up and say, how happy am I today? How does that affect how I act? That's not how I operate. I wake up and say, what must be done? What will allow me to be proud of myself? What will allow me to achieve? And those things will be done regardless of how I feel. And that's how the most successful people on earth all operate. The most successful people on earth don't only do things because they feel happy about doing them.
If you never make a mark on the world, then you effectively never existed. And when you're gone, nobody will care. And that's very important because you have a duty to your ancestors and you have a duty to God. So you must make a choice. And this is a genuine choice for you people at home. Do you want to live in obscurity forever and be invisible and not matter and have an easier life? I would argue that it's not easier because in your heart and in your soul, you're going to feel guilty knowing you could have been something you're not. Or do you want to try your absolute best and struggle and suffer every day of your life, paying the rent for all of the amazing things around you? We pay endless rent. We pay rent for our bodies. We pay rent for our relationships. We pay rent to keep our kids. We pay rent to keep our business. We pay rent to keep our freedom. Every single day is work to pay the rent. It's absolutely never ending. And you have to make that choice. So if you have a pen and paper in front of you, you need to decide, do you want to be invisible with a lower rent bill? Or do you want to be important and work hard and suffer to make sure that the rent is paid? It's a choice you must make, and it's binary, and you must be extremely dedicated towards the decision you finally make.
I refuse to accept that there are people out there who cannot become happy, contented individuals. I refuse to accept we live in a world where God has created people who, no matter how hard they work and how good their life becomes, can't be happy. I don't accept that. I accept that the universe is a very giving place and that God loves all of us. And if you try your best and you work hard, you can become a better person.
The beauty of life as a man is to be great. So you have to sit here and ask yourself, do you want to be a happy loser that's insignificant? Nobody knows you exist. Women don't respect you. Men don't respect you. Nobody cares if you live or die, but you get to smile all the time. Or do you want to be one of the most important people on the planet with a little bit of stress? Alternatively, you can go out there into the world, try and implement your mark on the world, work hard, try to get rich, more money, more problems. You can try and start a business, the stress of that. You can lose your girlfriend because all you're doing is working. This is a new level of stress, a new level of trauma, but at least you'll be a somebody at the end of it. As a man, there is no easy life. Your life is not about being easy. Your life is not about being happy. Your life is always going to be difficult. All of the pain you feel, all of the sadness you feel, you're supposed to feel as a man, and you have two effective binary choices. You either go through the suffering and go through the trauma and go through the hardship it takes to be a man of value, or you suffer eternity as a nobody. There's two ways to suffer. You either suffer as becoming a somebody, or you suffer as a perpetual and forever nobody.
There is a sharp rise in depression and a sharp decline in the ability to say, does no one else put these two together? Am I the only fucking psychiatrist worth his salt? All these other fucking nerds going to uni haven't worked out the basics. Racism, homophobia, misogyny. You know, I can't wait till they play this to me back in court and I have to defend myself. And they play it in court and the female lawyer stands there working for the state. We got you dead to rights. They're gonna play that part in court too. Imagine, I'm addressing the court now. Court, hello, I know my face is straight and I know I'm pretending it was all a joke. I mean, it's a joke, it's funny. But I kind of mean it. Fucking just put me in fucking jail then. Fucking, just take me to fucking hell. You cry about a joke. It's so gay. I'm depressed because you're not racist. Anxiety is another one. Some guy goes to me the other day, oh, I've got anxiety. Do you know why you have anxiety? I'll tell you why. I can cure anxiety, right? You have anxiety because you should be anxious. Ta-da! Why is a mouse anxious? Think about it. A mouse hears a noise because you can kill mice. You have anxiety because you're broke, because you're weak, because you're a loser. You're scared of the world, and you should be. Tate might turn up. You walk through the world anxious. Is Tate over there? Is Tate over there? Will Tate take my girl again? I gave her back. Whack ass pussy, bro. You're anxious because you're a fucking nobody. You see, the bear doesn't get anxious. If the bear hears a noise, it's like calm. Like, is there something I can kill over there? The mouse thinks, a noise, it might kill me. A bear thinks, a noise, I might want to kill it. It's a different vibe. So if you're a bear, if you're big and strong and rich and powerful, when you hear noises, you're like, do I need to kill that? No, it's fine. Whereas a mouse is like, oh, and runs away. Ah. You're anxious because you're a little weak bitch. If you went to the gym and got strong and got rich and got important, you wouldn't be anxious anymore. So by logical extension, as a medical professional, as the world's most famous psychiatrist, no psychiatrist, name a psychiatrist more famous than me on the internet. Name one. Can't. Is it even a disorder, anxiety disorder, if it's the natural conclusion of your ineptitude? If you put your hands near fire and you feel heat and you get burnt, is that a disorder? Or is that your body giving you feedback? Stay away from fire. It's not anxiety disorder, it's your body giving you feedback. Whispering. Your soul is whispering to your mind, you're a bitch. Be afraid. Be afraid. Every time I meet a man, I've got anxiety. Yeah, of course. I could kill you. You wouldn't even see it coming. Even worse, so you're just sitting there. You're a bitch. Because when you truly reach the highest echelon of masculinity, dying ain't so bad. As long as you die for a good reason. Dying's not the worst thing that can happen. Living for nothing's the worst thing that can happen. Andrew Tate died in a blaze of glory after 55 bullets for the right cause. I'm not anxious about that. In fact, I'm starting to get a bit pumped. I'm getting hyped already. I'm just talking about it. That's what men used to do, to go fucking fight for shit. I'm anxious. They might cut me with their sword. You deserve your anxiety. You deserve your depression. Anxiety is cured via strength. Depression is cured via racism. And to prove I am the world's leading psychologist, even though I have no script, because it's a good figure of speech, I'm gonna go off script and ask the Mr. fucking squinty sun cameraman who was crying his eyes out to name a mental disorder, and I'll tell you how to fix it. Name one. Go on. Go on, Mr. Scared of the fucking sun. Go on. Name one.
Homophobia.
That's not mental disorder. That's how you cure disorders. That's a good thing. Name like an affliction of the mind that men suffer with. I'll tell you how to fix it.
Trans.
Trans is... That's not even a real thing. Trans is just desperate attention seeking mixed with over horniness. You know? When you're not desired at all, you think, I want to be desired. Women are desired, and I'm jerking off all the time, and I'm a socially awkward, and I'm a retard. Fuck it, I'll just become a chick. Those people, that's Darwinism, bro. When I see people complaining, we're giving children sterilizers and they can't reproduce. Any parent that convinces their kid to sterilize at age 11, that's just Darwinism. Just let them. You don't want them having kids anyway. I'm actually all for it. I'm totally for it. I'm not against the trans movement. I want to chop off my balls. That doesn't get me. Sure. All these conservatives, we need to stop this. Why? Let them. Go chop your fucking balls off, faggot. I don't care. I'm going to chop my balls off and be a fag. You're already a fag. The fact you even consider it means you're already a fucking homo. So go. Do it. That's not a disorder we need to cure. We can let them do that. Depression we've cured. Anxiety we've cured. We've cured these two. Name something else. You can't even name anything. You can't even name anything. You should be able to name something because you're fucking white. And this is all white boy shit anyway. There ain't a brother in Ghana walking around with fucking anxiety. He's walking around amongst the trenches and the mud and the diseases and the crime. Flip-flops, no money, 6 baby mamas, doesn't give a fuck. Just strolling in the sun. Hey, it is a beautiful day. No anxiety and doesn't give a fuck. You white boys are sitting there in a $500,000 house, 3 Bitcoin and 400 grand in savings. I wonder if I have enough. No wonder you're losing your fucking society. Then you go to a doctor. I feel anxious. He doesn't say, go get strong like the Ghanaian. No, he says, oh, maybe your anxiety disorder is normal. Sit around the room jerking off together. And that's my problem? This is white people bullshit. And you know it's true. This is all white people shit. If I add up all the white people I know's lives and all the black people I know's lives, personal experience, the black people I knew and know and their upbringings and their struggles, and the white people I knew and their upbringings and their struggles, we add them all up, the black people have suffered tons more. But who's going to therapy? You'll meet a fucking white guy, he's like, yeah, I grew up in, my mom and dad, we grew up together in a nice family home and we all loved each other, and yeah, but you know, there was one time my sister took my broccoli and I've just been upset ever since, and I've just been going to therapy for a few years, I'll work it out. Someone said to me the other day, you're anti-immigration, but you're a fighter. So? And I'm not actually anti-immigration. I just make fun of white people because you're losing your countries, it's funny. I'm just laughing at the shit. I'm on the Titanic. I'm playing the violin. It's going down. It's going down. I'm the last psychologist on the Titanic. Who's anxious? It's like, you think that's advertising for immigration? That's the scariest thing in the fucking world. You're telling me these random black people you're letting into the country are the most dangerous men alive? You're walking around with anxiety and a small dick? And you think that's something we should let more in? They're gonna kick the living fuck out of you people. Yeah, well done, buddy. No wonder you have no fucking civilization left. No wonder the birth rate's plummeted. And you wonder why your cities aren't white anymore. Heh, she was on birth control and I used a condom and I had a vasectomy so I could have a wild ride, bro. You are gay. You are gay. So yeah, white people are gonna go extinct. It's an abstract, look, it's a basket of ideas. It's how my mind works. Let me explain your brain and my brain. I see the interconnectivity of everything. Your brain imagines an animal, like a mouse. When I think of a mouse, I think of the food chain. I think of the web. I think of the things that eat the mice, and what the mice eats, and the mice's habitat. Do you understand? You have a one-track mind. You can't sit down and talk about racism, homophobia, depression, anxiety, mice, bears in one video and make it make any sense at all. I'm the only fucking human alive who can do that.
I think we're here to struggle and to learn. I don't think we're here to be happy. That's why when we keep going back to the happy argument, I've always found that kind of frustrating and annoying. Yeah. When someone goes, oh, but I want to be happy. Why? Why? Why do you want to sit there and laugh? Like you were happy your entire childhood. That's your happy days. You're allowed to be happy as a kid. It's all over now, right? You're a man. You have responsibilities. I think we're here to do important. Provide, protect, and we're also here to do important things. And important things are going to be difficult, and they're going to be hard, and you're going to get frustrated. But that's what gives you purpose. I don't see anyone who's chasing happiness. I think that's a very feminine frame. I understand why some women just want to be happy. I don't know how it feels to be a girl because I'm not one. But in my experience, I know women who just want to be happy. Yeah. Girls just want to have fun. Fine. But you're a man, right? And if you're a man, then it's absolutely an utterly different experience of life. I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to endure pain. Yeah. I think we're here to just see how hard we are to kill. I think that going through terrible things and living through them and coming out the other side is one of the most fantastic things about being human. I think that it's almost like once you understand what life is really about, there's no emotion which isn't enjoyable. The only emotional state which can be seen as detrimental is feeling nothing at all. But if you're sitting at home and you're feeling truly heartbroken, at least you're feeling something, right? And I think that's the whole part of being human.
I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to go through pain. That's so I wake up each day and go, what can I attack? What problem can I solve? And look at history. Why did Genghis Khan wake up and want to conquer the whole world? Why did Napoleon conquer the world? Why did Alexander the Great conquer the world? You just wake up and just say, give me this, give me that. I want all of it. I need to, there's an army there, they're really big. We're better. It's intrinsic. Yeah. You need to go and conquer. That's the purpose of it. I think that any emotion you feel should be converted into positive
influence.
Yeah, you should do good things with any emotion you feel. I can't. And what else are you going to do with it? And this is a genuine question. Yeah. What else? If let's say your wife breaks your heart, if you're not going to work, you can't sleep anymore. You're upset. She's running around with a new dude. You see her Instagram story. She's got some new guy. You're furious and you're angry and you're jealous and you're bitter. You have all of this inside of you. But you're not going to go to the gym and work hard and become so fantastically in shape and so rich and so powerful that no girl ever leaves you again. You're not going to do that. No. What are you going to do with it? Text her? Try and explain to her? She doesn't care. Like, you can write the most perfect English. You can write the most beautiful words ever constructed. Forget Shakespeare. You can do, it doesn't matter. She doesn't care. She just doesn't care. She's distracted.
She forgot about you.
She forgot about you. So what are you going to do with all of that inside of you if it's not positive? Well, it's going to consume you and you're going to end up self-destructive, or you're going to embarrass yourself, or you can take all of that and put yourself in a position where it never happens to you again.
Yeah.
Those are the choices. So what's the most intelligent choice to make?
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand how many humans function in the world today. I don't get people who don't think like me. I don't understand it. I'm like, well, then how have you survived this long? Life is hard. Life is difficult. Maybe I've just been unlucky, which I don't believe in, but I've had so much trauma and bad events and negativity and stress and all these things that have happened to me. And I've used all of it to be monumentally successful. If I wasn't that way inclined with the workload that God put on my shoulders, I'd just be in a ditch somewhere. Yeah. I would have killed myself by now. Yeah. Like, I don't understand how people are functioning. If you're not thinking like me and you're going through life with any other mindset, you've been extremely fortunate that God smiled on you and allowed you to sit around most of the time doing jack shit, and you have yet to be punished for that. Yeah. I could never have lived that life. If I was a bit lazy or a bit, or I was a bit of a snake, or if I lied to people, I'd be dead by now. Yeah. Like, so a lot of these people are just absolutely and utterly blessed by God that they managed to go through life with such a non-competitive mindset and they're still breathing. Like, I don't understand how people can think any other way. Yeah. I've spoken to dudes and like, I had a bad couple months. Why? My girl left me. You've wasted months? You've wasted months over some like you had think of how much God loves you to have given you the grace and given you the opportunity to waste months of human time over some chick. Like, talk about blessed head to toe. If I waste months, empires are going to collapse. I'm going to end up in a cell or dead if I waste months. I have things to do every single day. I can't waste a second. Like, these people are just absolutely infinitely blessed, and their mindset is a product of that because they're spoiled children. Absolutely spoiled children. If you're going through life with any other mindset besides a hyper competitive one, where you are capable of competing with some of the most dangerous men on the planet in all their forms, me and my network, and also my competitors. If you don't have that mindset, then you have to understand that you are spoiled. You're spoiled by your reality, because there's a whole bunch of people out here daily who fail. There are men out here who fail daily, and they have yet to feel the true consequence for it. They fail to go to the gym when they know they should have gone to the gym. They fail because they forgot their keys and it took them 10 minutes to find them. They fail because they replied to a question they got sent on WhatsApp the wrong way. They fail because they didn't smile when they were supposed to. They didn't say please and thank you to that person who helped them. They fail because they didn't say hi to that girl who's looking at them out the corner of their eye. They just fail perpetually. They go through life missing every opportunity and just failing. And somehow we've built a society which is so soft and God is so giving and so graceful that they still have a place to eat and somewhere to sleep, and they're still surviving. That shows how nice God is, because before this society, truthfully, if you were that level of failure, you would be dead.
Survival of the fittest.
It's survival of the fittest, and none of these men out here are fit. No. Their mindset isn't fit. Their reality isn't fit. They're failures.
Physically, mentally.
They're failures, and they're just failing every single day. I'm like, oh, but you know what? Tomorrow I'll go to the gym. You've been failing your whole life. That's all you've done is fail. And then you sit and wonder why people like me absolutely and utterly outcompete you. It is so easy to become a top tier male in the world today because the competition is so ridiculously low. There are 2% killers like me, and everybody else is amateur. Head to toe amateur. They can't even pay attention to anything. They can't try anything. They're amateurs. And it's really mind-blowing to me because I've tried with all of my computational power to imagine having a mindset different to mine. And I just can't see a reality worth having. I can't see a reality worth living. I can't see how you're going to build a life worth experiencing if you have any other mindset. I can't see it.
Yeah.
I've never met somebody with a fantastic life who did not completely and utterly believe in themselves. I've never seen somebody massively succeed and they didn't believe in themselves, ever. I've never seen somebody who just allows life to happen to them and become blown off course by some sadness, end up doing massively monumental and important things. I've never seen it.
It's never happened.
It does, and it's never going to happen. Because it's competitor. It's like crypto. It's player versus player.
Right.
And there's people like me out here. So
Doggy
when that breaks your heart and you take a few months off and she ends up on my jet and I get rid of her and I don't give a shit. Yeah, that's right. And if she leaves me afterwards, let's say she just likes to leave men, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm still working. You're still crying. You can't possibly ever beat me. I'll continue to beat you into eternity, as will my bloodline. You will sit and pay the price for the rest of your human years. Even your ancestors above you are disappointed in you, and your offspring for the rest of your lineage will look up and say, my great-great-great-grandfather was a loser because I broke his heart, and now we've been broke ever since.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I'm absolutely lucky, and I don't want to give too many details away, but in my previous life, I was certainly living... I knew some very dangerous people. I've done some dangerous things. There's been a few expose documentaries on the kind of things I was involved in previously. I've had attempts on my life. People have tried to stab me. I've had people try to kill me. I've had members of my family attempts on them. I've had a very certainly difficult life. I don't consider any of the mental stress of this recent Matrix attack anywhere near comparable to the physical altercations and things that have happened to me. But the reason I'm the luckiest man on earth is because God has given me endless building blocks to build a superhero. He's given me endless power. He's given me endless motivation. What did we say?
Yeah.
He's given me endless. I have endless sources of power. I can sit here right now and recall events that will prevent me from sleeping for 2 to 3 days. That gives me a superpower that other men do not have. They want to go to sleep. They're tired. I can stop being tired for days at a time. I can just have a thought. I can remember. I can sit, close my eyes, and use the power of my brain to vividly remember events, and I will not sleep for days. I've never tried cocaine in my life. I've never tried weed in my life, ever.
Wow.
I drink a lot of coffee. I smoke cigars, bit of vodka, but I've never tried a narcotic in my life.
Wow.
So God has given me an endless source of power. And when people come to me and say, oh, this happened, I'm really sad, or my heart broke, or this bad thing happened to me, I say, good. Thank the Lord that he's given you this endless source of motivation. You're wasting it. Yeah. That's your problem. But it's been given to you. Nitrous oxide has been given to you. You just have to use it in the correct way. So I'm the luckiest man in the world because all the bad things that happened to me have given me all the building blocks to become the most fantastic man on the face of the planet. Yeah. Well, the reason I don't touch any narcotics at all is because... Firstly, I was a professional athlete and my blood was tested. Okay. I'm now 35 years old without ever having tried a drug ever. Is there any point in starting now?
No.
I've lived my whole life without ever trying these things. Why start now?
Yeah.
Also, when I look at some of the most degenerate, stupid, ridiculous people on the planet,
they're all drug users.
They all use drugs. It's not very often I meet a man who's completely head to toe, has his life in order, and he likes drugs. A lot of rich people take cocaine, yes, and I do know them and some of them, but I still think they'd be better without cocaine. Yeah. You know, that's just genuinely a vice. But if you go to a festival full of brokies, full of peasants and peons, full of people who don't try very hard at life, and they sit there and they idolize these false idols given to them by the Matrix, and they stand in a crowd full of millions of other people like an insignificant peasant and jump up and down, wow, Diplo, wow, whoever. Yeah, just complete peasant mindset. If you look at these people and say, do you like drugs? Guess what they say?
I love it.
Oh, yeah. So I don't want to go anywhere near the peasantry, right? Yeah. So, because that's what it is. It's disgusting and it's peasantry. So that's why I don't take drugs. And the reason I don't like vape is because I don't think that vape is even remotely natural. Because a tobacco is a plant, okay, cool. But if you manage to put chemicals inside of a little container that tastes like blueberry ice.
Yeah.
What even is blueberry ice? Yeah. It's not even a flavor. It's just words. Yeah. And then you taste it and you go, that does taste like blueberry ice.
Yeah. How they made it?
How did they pull that off?
Yeah.
I can't believe it's possibly good for me. Add in the price that it cost. Add in the fact that it cost $1.
Yeah.
And comes deep from the heart of China. Like you're like, you think they give a shit about the West just puffing away on this petrochemical? They don't care.
They're happy.
Yeah. So if you're gonna smoke, at least smoke something. You know, it was grown.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I smoke is not because I'm addicted, because I have an iron mind and I can blink and cure my brain and stop smoking completely. In fact, when there's certain places I go to in the world where I don't smoke for months at a time, I'm not addicted to anything. The reason I smoke is because nicotine is good for your testosterone level.
Okay.
That's the reason I smoke. I smoke because I like the drug of nicotine, because nicotine is actually positive. The reason I drink coffee is not because I'm addicted, because caffeine is a miracle drug.
Yeah.
Caffeine
It's good for your heart.
Caffeine's a miracle.
Yeah.
I drink endless coffee, and of course the Matrix will come along and say too much coffee is bad for you, too much meat's bad for you. They say anything to make you weak and stupid. Yeah. Caffeine, people don't understand that coffee changed the world. Before coffee and caffeine, we were we were living our lives in rhythm with the sun. We got up when the sun came up, we went down when the sun came down.
couldn't go against
We didn't go against it very much. With the Industrial Revolution and caffeine, the introduction of caffeine, we now had night shifts, we now had double shifts. Think about this. If a job introduces a coffee break, if a company says, stop working and drink this coffee, that's because the coffee you have is worth the time they let you not work, because you make up for it plus some. That's how powerful it is. And what's actually interesting about me is when I think back, my entire reality is caffeinated. I haven't been awake without caffeine in years.
Yeah.
I drink coffee every single day. So I thought about this and I thought, maybe life's better without caffeine. So I took a week off of coffee.
Yeah.
And there was
Try it out.
zero advantage. I didn't sleep any better.
Yeah.
I felt pissed off. I didn't feel like I could focus as well. I was more tired, but I couldn't sleep any better. It was weird. I was just like, this isn't me. Now, obviously, I'm still a hyper-competitive individual. I still went to the gym. I still did my work. I'm still the top G. But I didn't feel as good.
No benefits.
There was no benefits.
Yeah.
So after a week, I had a cup of coffee, and it was like, the miracle is back. It's develop a coffee addiction. It's fantastic. There's nothing bad about caffeine. I have 10 to 15 coffees a day every single day, and I will do to the day I die. And so just to finish off for my vices, coffee is not a vice. I want the caffeine. Smoking's not a vice. I want the nicotine. These are drugs that I believe are genuinely good for me. The only vice, I guess, is alcohol. And although it looks like in some of my videos I drink a lot, that I can drink a lot, I must have the genetic disposition. I can outdrink almost anybody on the planet. I don't truly drink very often.
And you don't get drunk.
And I know I'm a professional. So for me to get drunk, it has to be a controlled, closed environment, or I have to have a security team. I will not get drunk
in open.
Never. It's either in my house with armed guards outside, or it's on a yacht, which
Very
is
sophisticated.
it's on a yacht, which is in the middle of the ocean. Or it's very difficult for me to get drunk because I don't like to lose control of reality like that. And 9 times, in fact, not 9, 9.999 times out of 10, if I'm drinking, I either have a weapon on me or somebody next to me does.
Yes.
I stick to the base. I have 10 to 15 coffees every day. That's what I have every day. It's the same number. And I don't think I built a tolerance to it, because when I stopped drinking it, I felt the difference. So I know that it's doing something.
Yeah.
It does something. I quit. It was only 2 weeks ago I did this 1 week no coffee thing. It was garbage. And I did it because I thought, you see these idiots online. They're like, take cold showers, don't drink coffee, read books. I knew they're full of shit because none of them have anything. They're all brokies. Yeah. And if I were to ever meet any of these people in person, these self-help gurus, I could grab them by their necks and I could wring them to death. I know that they're not men, right? I could destroy all of them. So I'm not interested in really talking to any of them, but I thought about the coffee thing and I thought, well, my entire reality is caffeinated. Let me try life without it. And it was terrible.
Yeah.
Coffee is a gift from God. Caffeine is beautiful, as is nicotine. Ingest as much as possible. And for any doctor who says that it's unhealthy, meet me in the cage and we'll talk about health. Because if I can still beat the shit out of you, then I don't want to hear your opinions on health.
Health, yeah.
Because I think I'll do just fine against any doctor who said coffee is a bad idea. Firstly, I have nothing bad to say about Elon, because Elon's top E, right? I got to show respect where it's due.
Top G, Elon.
Yeah, he's top E. But I think that a strong body is a strong mind.
Yeah.
I think that going to the gym is important for your mental health. It is for me anyway. I train absolutely every single day. I am not on any kind of steroid. I'm not on TRT. I'm not on testosterone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
I'm not on any kind of pill. I don't even take creatine. I don't take protein powder. Nothing. And a lot of people don't believe that about me. A lot of people say, "Oh, because there's pictures of me where I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
I look a bit skinny in a shirt, but they look at me without a shirt on. They're like, "Wow, you're big. What are you taking,
You're
bro?
ripped, yeah.
What are you taking?" I'm like,
"What's your cycle?"
Coffee, cigars, a lot of meat, and hard training. And I'm 35 and I've never had a single injection in my body ever. God is my witness. And I say this on podcasts because there's some people who believe I'm not natural for some reason. And it's kind of a compliment, but they believe I'm not natural. And I say this now openly, so if I ever get busted doing these things, you can sit and call me up on it.
True.
I mean, Logan Paul is a steroid head. He's a big. I've told him before I'll fight him if he can piss in a cup, but he can't because he's massively addicted to steroids. Me and him were back and forth. There's a long story with him, and he was kind of cool. And then when the Matrix attacked me, he cucked out and became a complete. But like he's talking about a boxing match, yeah, you have to pass a drugs test because if I start taking drugs like you are, Logan, I'll be an animal. I'm God's favorite, right? I'm an animal already. Imagine I was taking drugs on top. Jeez. I'd be an animal. So he's sitting there injecting himself to just get a little bit of muscle. But I never take anything. I've never taken anything, and I say that God is my witness. So I just train hard. And I only train for maybe 45 minutes to an hour each day. Every single morning is one of the first things I do. I wake up and I train. And what's amazing is I never feel like doing it. Bro. I never want to do it. I wake up and I have work to do. My phone's going off. I got a busy day. I have to do stuff. I'm in a big mansion. There's a Lambo outside. There's a nice pool. There's 3 chicks in bikinis chilling. They're like, hey, breakfast is ready. And I'm like, nope. I'm going to train. And I don't want to, but I still do it because that's the part of being a man. It's doing what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm in Constanța, Romania, right? I'm in Romania. I was there, this is maybe 8 or 9 years ago. At the time, there weren't so many foreigners who went there. I was in a club and there was an absolutely beautiful girl and I went over to her and said, hello, it's nice to meet you. You're absolutely gorgeous. And start talking to her back and forth. I said, can I buy you a drink? And she said, yes, I'd like this bottle of champagne. And at the time, I didn't have the kind of money I had now. So I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy you a bottle of champagne. I don't normally drink champagne. I bought this.
I like beer.
Yeah, I didn't say beer, but I styled it off. I said, so you can't really say that, right? So you have to be smooth about it. It's like, champagne. We should enjoy a bottle of champagne together one day, but I'm about to leave. I just want to come say hello. So we'll do it sometime in the future. You have to be smooth about these things. James Bond, right? Because I didn't want to buy a $1,500 bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
So I styled it off, got her number, left. We're texting back and forth. She seemed like a really nice girl. Absolutely and utterly beautiful. My standards are ridiculously high because I'm not a peasant like everybody else. I'm only associating with women.
I heard only blondes.
I can have anything I want. And I kind of like when they all match. So I live with very, very high standards. So she was truly beautiful. The next day I met her, we had lunch, and again, she tried to kind of hint at this drink, and again, I styled it off. That night I saw her on another man's table and they were buying all this champagne. And I was kind of a little bit annoyed because I thought I bagged like a really beautiful girl and she's now on this table and all this champagne's coming. So whatever, it is what it is. I left it. I still text her a little bit back and forth. And it became this running joke. She was like, why won't you buy me a single bottle of champagne? You're a man. Why won't you buy a single bottle of champagne? And she was also she was quite inquisitive. She was like, so what's your job? What are you doing here? She was trying to ask me lots of questions and I wouldn't answer any of them. I'd always style it off with a clever answer. Yeah. Like, what's your job? It's like, I'm a priest or blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, we ended up becoming really good friends throughout the summer. And eventually she came open to the fact that she's there specifically to make men spend money. And she had a script. And she said, you're the only, when she drunk a little bit of champagne that night, to be fair, she was a little bit drunk. She said, you're the only man I've ever met who didn't, you're the only man I've ever met who didn't follow my script, Andrew. I said, what's the script? And she showed me it was Facebook at the time. She showed me in her Facebook inbox, the man would get her number. They'd meet the next day. Then after about 2 or 3 dates, she'd say, I can't fall in love with somebody who lives far away. Last time, I've only been with one man in my whole life. Last time I was with a man like this, my heart was broken. And she'd copy and paste this long message. The guy would start begging for her back. She would wait about a day and a half and then hit him back and go, okay, I'll come meet you, but I don't want to come on my own because I'm falling in love with you. I want to bring some friends and we'll go to this place. And they'd go and spend more money on more girls, more champagne, more meals. And it was this script and every man was falling for it in exact order. And it was copy and paste messages. And every single dude fell for it, just chasing this girl, promising her anything, taking her and all her friends to whatever place she needed to go that day for the commission. And this is like 8-9 years ago. And she said she was making like $20,000 to $25,000 a month in commissions. And she's some Ukrainian chick. She's like 19. Like bought her family a house. Whoa. But like literally enriched her family top off the back. Yeah, top G. Yeah, she was absolutely amazing at manipulating. But it just showed how stupid men were. Every single man was falling for the same trick, all of it, head to toe. And after that, we got a bit closer, and she was we fell in love, let's say. And it was kind of funny because we spent the whole summer together. I never bought her a drink. I never bought her one.
No.
It became a thing where I said, I'm not buying you a thing.
Because you don't want to be one of those guys.
Tap water only. So I was like, I'll get you tap. You want tap water? And she was like, oh, and made a big joke of
gave her
it.
a joke, yeah.
She was buying the drinks because she had more money than me. I think it's I mean, it was going on for weeks. There's a lot of nuance to it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
I'm
not saying don't buy girls drinks. In fact, if I meet a girl now and she wants a drink, I'll certainly buy her one. It was just a very unique scenario, unique circumstance that kind of led into a story. But the night she was going through those Facebook messages, it was crazy how quickly and instantly men will simp and beg and cry over a girl they've known for 3 days, promising, oh, we're gonna be special, I'll take care of you.
They think she's the one.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. Yeah, I don't think there's ever going to be one person on the planet you're truly compatible with. I think there's going to be, a few. And if you have your life in order as a man, truly and completely in order, then you're compatible with a lot more people. I think that if you're a man and you're struggling to find somebody you're compatible with, that's probably because you're a loser. If your life's in order, then you're compatible with a lot of women. Like me, for example, I don't need a woman to mother me. I don't need a woman to motivate me, to tell me to stop playing video games. I don't need her to do anything for me. I need her to be happy, positive, protect my spirit, pray for me, maybe little things, make me a coffee, some kind of small gesture. But my money's right, my motivation's right, my life is right. And if she is associated with me, by proxy, she's gonna have a fantastic life. I can't fly on my jet and put her on an easy jet.
Yeah.
Like, she's gonna end up on jets, she's gonna end up in the 5-star hotels, she's gonna end up not having to worry about money, she's gonna end up in the best restaurants. Yeah. By proxy, she's gonna have a very fantastic life. So you'll find that if your expectations of a woman are for her to be happy and you have a lifestyle that makes her happy, a lot of women are pretty happy, and you get along with basically all of them. It's kind of amazing how that works. It takes a very special type of character to still be dislikable in those kind of scenarios. Whereas if your life is less perfect or your reality is less impressive, then you need a girl who's happy to be bored, and then it becomes harder. But I don't have any of those problems. All right, I'll tell a very rough version of it.
It's exclusive.
Yeah. I'm going to miss a lot of details. I was about 24, I think. And I can't say why, but I had a problem with this guy. And we were arguing.
Sorry, wait, was this during the kickboxing time?
I was kickboxing, yeah.
Okay.
But I was also, kickboxing doesn't make money like boxing, right? When you're kickboxing, I was like one-time world champion. You're making like 30, 40, 50 grand a fight, but you're fighting like twice a year. And I mean, towards the end I was getting 5-6 fights a year and I was doing better, but when you're fighting like twice a year and you have to pay your coach and your taxes, you're living in London, you're not rich. So I was making some money on the side, and I had a disagreement with this guy, and we were kind of texting back and forth, and he stopped replying to me. He totally stopped replying.
Cool.
That was it. And I was like, okay. And I texted him a few more times, and he totally stopped replying to me. And about a week and a half later, when I was walking to my car, he tried to stab me. I was walking to my car. Even to this day, if I walk to my car at night, especially if it's raining, I panic a little bit.
PTSD.
Yeah, a little bit. I was walking to my car and I heard footsteps behind me. This is one of the reasons I hate headphones. And anyone I see in headphones is a fucking idiot, because you are so killable with headphones in. You think you look cool with your AirPods in. I can sneak up behind you with a chainsaw, you dummy. Like, anyone who has AirPods or headphones in is a soft target.
Just distracted.
I heard it first. I heard feet moving quickly, and as I turned, I've got a scar here on my hand where you can see the blade in my hand. I turned and I took the blade in the hand, and if that was my neck, I'd be dead.
Had you missed that hand, he had his hand made in a different position.
Yeah, I could have easily died.
Oh my God.
I hit him, but it was sloppy. I'll admit it was a bit sloppy. He wobbled. He took a step back, but now we're facing each other. But because I was bleeding so much, because my finger basically came off, because I was bleeding so much, I thought I'd been stabbed properly. Okay. And I ran. But I could have been dead. And the only reason I'm not is because I heard him coming. I didn't see him coming. And that's why to this day, if I sit in public and I see somebody with AirPods in, I feel nervous for them. I can't explain it. I get anxious. It's like seeing somebody about to touch a chainsaw. Like you're like, whoa, don't do that. When I see somebody and they're like, I'm like, you are so killable.
They're walking to the street like this.
Yeah, like, dude, it's unbelievable.